after a,
So
a couple of
gorgeous.
foggy or more challenging starts. It was
Yeah.
beautiful to see this blue sky and this sunshine.
Yeah, very comfortable too. Temperatures in the 50s.
Yeah,
Dew
got a
points were
little cooler
low.
last night.
Yeah.
Dew points came down a little bit,
Yeah.
so it
We'll
was very
take
nice.
it.
Yeah, and we'll have that regional outlook in just a little bit. But speaking of beautiful things, no, not you, Tom. I'm not talking about you. But you,
Nope.
you did get
Only
to
a little
see
bit.
some beautiful, beautiful things when you visited my home country. Went up to Banff, Canada.
Rob, Steph, amazingly beautiful. Canada, I had never been. Bucket list item
Okay.
to go to Banff. And let me show you here what this looked like. The water was incredibly blue. In fact, the pictures don't even do it justice.
Oh, wow.
So we went to Lake Louise, for example, which was just north of Banff. And you see just how blue the water is. And again, the photos don't even do this justice. A lot of science when it comes to this. Of course, I go on vacation and I'm thinking science, right?
We all like to nerd out a little bit.
Right. So it's so interesting why the water is so blue, and it has to do with glaciers. And it's called glacial rock flour, F-L-O-U-R. And so the glaciers are pulverizing the rock, and then that flour goes into the water, and that is what's causing that brilliant blue color.
Oh, wow. Fascinating.
Which is amazing.
That is a beautiful shot.
So, yeah, I mean, getting to see that, and the water is very, very cold, as you can imagine.
Yeah,
right? But with that sunshine, just absolutely gorgeous. So, Rob, Steph, let me ask, have you guys been to that part of Canada?
I have not. I would like to get there as soon as possible.
Yeah, you should check it out if you can. I have. I have to say the day that I was at Lake Louise was not the crystal blue sunshiny day that you got, typical of me. It was a gray, rainy day. Now, that said, it was still fascinating to take in. The water still looked amazing, but I didn't come home with the gorgeous pictures that you got.
Okay, now let's talk this poutine. Is that what it's called, Rob?
Yes, poutine. Yeah, it's actually the other side of Canada from Banff, where that was originated in Quebec City, Quebec, Canada. It's a French-Canadian dish. French fries, usually kind of a stronger gravy, like a beef gravy, or sometimes it has like a tomato-based gravy in there too. And then cheese curds, which is right up a Wisconsinite's alley.
It's, you know what, I didn't have it, but it sounded really good. Now, here's my next question. Have you heard of a Caesar before, Rob?
Yes, a Bloody Caesar, which is like the
drink.
Bloody Mary of Wisconsin. But the big difference is, did they tell you?
No.
It's clam juice.
Oh.
Yes, they use something called Clamato.
Really?
So it's a tomato clam juice.
Well, I definitely brought several bottles of it home. It was good.
You did, Tom.
Yeah, they're very, very good. They're tasty for sure.
That and this Swiss chocolate, which was amazing, that they sell in Canada, but they don't sell in the U.S.
That's interesting. Well, there are different import rules, so you'll get a different, I will say, quality of chocolate. Some may argue with me there, but a different quality of chocolate sometimes imported into Canada from Europe versus what we allow here with the word chocolate written on it.
That's interesting. Well, I went to Costco up there, and I had to buy another suitcase.
Oh my gosh.
To bring all this stuff back.
To bring it all back. I brought chocolate and the Caesar back.
Well, then we're having a party at your house this
exactly.
weekend. Is that what's going on?
There you go.
That's fantastic.
But absolutely beautiful.
There you go. Now, what you should have tried, perhaps, in that part of Canada is something called a California roll. Does that make any sense to you?
Does. I did not try it, but so it's different than here?
Well, it's the actual birthplace of the California roll is actually Western Canada, British Columbia, Vancouver, Canada. The chef that created the California roll sold it first in British Columbia, and then it caught on as the California roll. For sushi lovers, it's actually a Canadian dish. Isn't that weird?
Wow, that is kind of weird.
That's very
Fun
weird.
fact.
I'm learning so much.
You'll have to go
After the
back.
fact.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, definitely a bucket list item. And yeah, the views were just incredible. Icefields Parkway, which is like one of the top 10 scenic views in the world, every turn was incredible.
Oh, I
It was
bet.
amazing.
Fantastic. Well, we've loved traveling vicariously through you and Lisa the last couple of weeks.
Right.
Right.
Well, thank you guys.
Well, thank you. Well, yeah, I appreciate all the feedback, and yeah, now it makes me want to go back, get some better pictures. I think it was about 20 plus years ago that I was there. Probably more than that, more like 25. So yeah, I think I'm due for another visit.
I think so too.
Yeah.
It's always been somewhere I've wanted to go. Like, Canada in general is a place I want to explore.
There you go.
Not just one side, all of
Sure.
it.
Well, it's a huge, physically very large country, very small population, but geographically it's actually the second largest by landmass. We learned that in second grade. So if you want to get from one end to the other, it's not a one-day trip.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to take you a long, long time. But there's lots of fine stuff here, so I will be back after my vacation with lovely pictures from Door County. I'm not going nearly
Fall
as
foliage,
far.
right?
Yes, I will be going to Door
Okay.
County in the days ahead, so I'll bring back
Deal.
some pics of that. But we have to change gears here, and it's going to be an interesting next several months because, of course, after the tragic events of the storms and the floods, Camp Mystic, excuse me, is going to be reopening.
It is. So that's the summer camp in Texas that was devastated by a deadly flood. It is set to reopen next summer. Camp Mystic, a Christian summer camp in Central Texas, where just sadly 25 girls and 2 staffers were killed in a massive flood, plans to reopen for its next season in 2026. The announcement follows a bill passed by Texas Congress to improve camp safety in the state by requiring cabins to be built outside of dangerous floodplains. The camp says it will hold a memorial for the victims over the 4th of July weekend, which will be 1 year after the flood hit the area.
It's going to be, very challenging, like I said off the top, very challenging in the weeks and months ahead for Camp Mystic. I mean, I can't speak for the families, but I'm sure there are some incredible memories there, and I think, they want that to continue. I'm sure many of them do, but how they do it and making sure that they learn the lessons of what happened and make sure that nothing like that ever happens again is so vitally important. Similar to, when Katrina hit New Orleans, we learned a lot from that storm, and we learned about emergency preparedness and forecasting, and so sometimes out of tragedy comes a whole new level of safety and scientific understanding. So we hope for the best for that as they go forward.
Absolutely.
Now, let's go forward with our stories today because the Italian firefighters are making news, making a daring rescue of a mother and a daughter trapped in some floodwaters. This video is amazing. Rescue crews hoisted a firefighter from a helicopter in the northern town of Maida after massive flooding and mudslides hit the region. Firefighters also evacuated people from their homes, their vehicles. They cleared flooded roads after responding to over 600 calls. Yeah, very, very busy situation there. And a hospital in Oklahoma evacuates its patients after severe storms ripped the building's roof off. Look at that right there. The storm hit Tuesday evening, damaging close to 40% of Northeastern Health Systems Hospital in the city of Sallisaw. Up to 2 inches of rain fell per hour in west central Arkansas and nearby LaFleur County. Oklahoma emergency crews worked right through the night. These pictures are stunning. Discharging and transferring patients to nearby facilities. There were no reports of injuries to patients or staff on Wednesday. Most of the hospital's operations were functioning with a fully operational ER, which is kind of amazing given those pictures.
Yeah, it absolutely is. That's always kind of a worst case scenario when a hospital gets hit by severe weather.
Right.
Just getting everybody to safety and now evacuating them. So
And to get the ER back up and running fully, I mean, it's called an emergency room for a reason, right? You need it.
Exactly. All right, well, now let's talk Hurricane Helene. Nearing the 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Helene, some people in western North Carolina obviously still trying to put their lives back together after losing everything. Fox's Chelsea Torres talked with the mother and daughter in Burnsville, North Carolina, who say they're thankful they have each other, but they are still processing or trying to process the trauma Helene caused.
My entire 20th year of life is just, it's been recovering from a storm.
Hanging in the Keel's donated camper, a wooden sign. It says, "So this is not home sweet home, adjust." The Keels say it's been one adjustment after another since Helene.
It happened. We're rolling with the punches.
The last time we saw the Keels, they were buying gas for their generators.
We lost our house.
A month after Helene flooded their family home and a camper on their property where other family members lived.
The water was too high and too fast. Like, we just made it out.
Amaya, her mom Jessica, and the rest of their family waded through the raging river until they were safe with their neighbors. No cell service, no electricity, no running water.
About a week of just nothing. Like, we didn't know whether anybody else we knew were okay.
Then a group of volunteers set up a distribution site a few miles up the road.
About 5 days later, and luckily we were blessed with wonderful tents.
Volunteers also donated a car and generators.
When you're trying to sleep in a tent, a heater is a godsend.
A local nonprofit eventually got the Keels out of the cold and into this camper.
And it didn't have power or water, but it was better than a tent.
According to the North Carolina governor's office, Helene destroyed more than 74,000 homes. And back here, nearly a year later, damaged appliances and furniture are still sitting outside the Keels' dilapidated family home.
You're actually doing great compared to some people.
And we're still struggling.
Chelsea Torres reporting there. Our hearts just go out to everybody in that area that dealt with, I mean, even unthinkable type of rainfall totals.
Yeah, Helene was just one of those soaking storms. Yeah. It's hard to believe it's been a year since that happened. And you got to admire that attitude. You know, they're obviously struggling, and to take a moment and realize they're doing better than some others is just, you know, I'm not sure I could be that magnanimous in that situation. No, we are very happy to have a much, much easier going forecast. We will not be talking about flooding. We might actually be talking about the lack of water for the first time in a while.
Yeah, we're going to be watching that drought monitor, I think, in the next week, because we have got some very quiet weather ahead. You can tell all of the active weather is out east, and those of us in the central and western U.S. are pretty quiet at the moment. So that low pressure system that's been with us the last couple of days, bringing us rounds of showers and storms, especially when you think back to last weekend, it was a slow mover because it's just now out towards the east. We're in the sweet spot here in central portions of the state, and it's still a little unsettled out west. Monsoon season, it continues in the southwest as well, but here in Wisconsin, we have a really, really nice forecast. Just zooming in on all of the showers and thunderstorms out east from New England states through the Carolinas all the way down to the Gulf Coast. Parts of Louisiana and Arkansas saw some strong thunderstorms yesterday. Should not be quite as active today. There is a marginal risk for some severe weather out east today, but also the chance for some heavy soaking rain from, once again, New York and even up to New England states, all the way down to the panhandle of Florida, New Orleans area, and then out towards the west. You can see two separate spots in the southwest especially, but also over to Nevada and portions of eastern, we'll say east central portions of California under that slight risk. So level 2 for some heavy rainfall and some flooding. There is still a flood watch in effect for portions of Arizona. Also worth mentioning, the spots not dealing with the rain, the Pacific Northwest under red flag warning. So with the wind and the dry weather, unfortunately, there is fire hazards out towards the Pacific Northwest. So a little bit of everything going on across the U.S. right now. Once again, I'll say it, we are in the sweet spot here in Wisconsin. We still have a little bit of cloud cover near the lake, a little pocket out towards the west too, but from here, we are looking at clear and quiet conditions. This is our statewide view going into the next couple of days. Sunshine today, sunshine on Friday. We could end up seeing a few clouds in the afternoon as a weak cold front pushes through. That's more so going to bring us a little drop in temperatures lakeside as it kicks in a lake breeze. Saturday, some sunshine, and for the fun of it, we'll go all the way through Sunday too, because the state of Wisconsin could not look better. So anything you've got going on throughout the weekend, weather will not be an issue. A lot of the heat is out west and down towards the south, but we are going to be gradually warming in the days ahead. Today we're doing pretty well, especially north and east in those low 70s, but Minneapolis, high temperature of 80 today. So you can tell that's going to be our trend going forward. We've could see 2 straight days around 80 here in the Milwaukee area at least, but that goes for the entire state. So yes, we have sunshine, but we also have warmer temperatures heading into the next 6 days at least.
Yeah, and to have potentially back-to-back 80-degree days for the last weekend in September.
Yes.
I mean, that is incredibly rare for that to happen
It
in
is.
our area. So we will take that as a win for sure. And we have a great time lapse here as well. This is called a super lapse, actually. We talked a bit about this launch yesterday. We didn't get to see it happen live, but this is a super lapse, or a long time lapse, of the SpaceX IAMP launch. This is from Wednesday morning down in Florida. Rolling through the animation there, you see things firing, and there it goes.
That's so cool.
Yeah. The time-lapse speed there almost makes it comical, but
It does.
yes, it was great to see that go up, and of course that will be providing, there's the slow version, they will be providing us with more data in the years ahead, which is really cool. In fact, today, I was just stumbled on this morning, it happens to be the anniversary of one of the first ionosphere probes, so they weren't outer space, but up in the ionosphere, and they were probing in 1962, I think it was, on this date that they launched a rocket up into the ionosphere to take some samples there.
Always fascinating stuff. All right, let's take a quick live look outside right now. We have a great interview coming up with Yerkes Observatory talking about equilux, what it is. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody, to Wisconsin Weather Experts. I'm excited about this upcoming interview. So as you guys all know, our autumnal equinox was this past Monday, and although equinox does mean equal, we technically do not have equal daylight and nightlight on that day.
That's right, not at this latitude at the very least. Yerkes Observatory outreach astronomer Mallory Conlon is here to explain a similar term that is starting to get to be a little bit better known, equilux, and when equilux happens for us. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So equilux would actually be that equal day and night, right?
Yes, exactly right. A lot of times we hear the equinox being referred to as the day when there's equal day and equal night. And this is not exactly true. The equinox is the specific day when the Earth's axis is tilted neither toward nor away from the sun. So if you want to think about this geometrically, the equinox occurs when the plane of the Earth's equator intersects with the center of the sun. And this happens 2 times a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. And like I said, you'll often hear that this is when equal amounts of day and night happen. Equilux is that specific day when there is an equal amount of daylight and nighttime, so that there's about 12 hours each of daylight and night. And like the equilux happens about twice a year.
There you go. So for us, that's a little bit more separated from the actual equinox, whereas if you're closer to the equator, closer in time frame, right? So are we creeping up on equilux here?
Yeah, I believe it's today,
Yeah,
actually. Today is the equilux. Perfect timing, right?
And so maybe go through why the equilux is the day that we actually see those equal daylight nighttime as compared to the equinox. It has something to do with refraction, the sun and its diameter. It's pretty complex stuff.
Yeah, you actually outlined it perfectly. Those are the two main reasons why equilux does not necessarily happen on the equinox. The first reason is that the sun doesn't appear as a point source when you look at it from Earth. We're close enough to it that the sun appears to have an angular size. It's about 1/2 degree in the sky, or about the same angular size as the moon. And this means that the sun's edges appear above the horizon before its center actually rises, and then after the sun's center actually sets. So, for example, day is not considered to begin until the entire disk of the sun is above the horizon, so this impacts the amount of daylight that we actually get. And then the other reason that you mentioned is because Earth has an atmosphere, and this atmosphere bends, or what astronomers say, refracts sunlight, which makes the sun visible even when it's technically below the horizon. So this atmospheric effect causes that period of light after sunset and before sunrise to be longer than the actual darkness that we experience.
And without all of that happening, we wouldn't have any beautiful dawn or dusk.
Exactly.
Right? Could you imagine if daylight and night were like turning the switch off in
I
the
know,
bedroom?
that'd be so difficult.
It would be very weird. Instagram would have nothing to post.
That's true.
So is there anything historically, like the equinox has this like cultural thing around it, there's some myths about it. There are, ancient cultures that are, do things around it to celebrate it. Is there anything in the past that has been connected to the equilux like that? Folklore or anything?
Yeah, not to my knowledge, at least. That would be an interesting research project for some people to work on, I think.
It's still such a new term, I think, for a lot of people. I like talking about it because it is so different from the actual equinox.
There you go. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. And if somebody wants to learn more about the observatory, where do they go?
You can find us at yerkesobservatory.org, and we do have an open house coming up next week, so hopefully we'll see some of you there.
Oh, that's good to know.
It's an amazing facility, and it's been around for how long again?
It's almost our 128th birthday, so we were built in 1897.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Again, thank you very much. We'll likely chat again very soon. Appreciate having you on the show.
Awesome. Take care.
Take care.
All right, let's take a live look outside right now. We can enjoy our 12 hours of daylight because it is sunny and beautiful. We have just a tiny little bit more coming up.
That's right.
Almost got some weather
It's
experts.
the equilux. So let's start a new tradition where we balance our bratwursts, one in each hand.
And cheese curds.
And cheese curds, yes.
And beer.
Beer, yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to Wisconsin Weather Experts.
That's right. We get ready for another beautiful day and a stretch of beautiful weather. If you have any questions that you want to pass along, like, hey, why wasn't the day and night equal back on the equinox? That would be a good one, right? Hit up the QR code right there, and we will do our best to answer them. And even if we can't, maybe it's in a different area of science, we're happy to go find an expert and nerd out with them on the show and bring you the information that you need.
Yeah, anything you need to know, just send it our way. Thank you again for joining us on another episode. It's been a great week so far. We have one more day tomorrow at noon, so tune back in, and we will keep things sciencey for you. Have a great day, everybody.
I like that.